Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can get us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a telephone that came in from a company that works on telephones, and that's not uncommon. I get a lot of telephones in from a lot of companies that say they work on telephones, and they do work on telephones, but I'm the last resort, and a lot of these telephones that they'll send in, they either don't know how to repair or they just don't know enough about electronics to go in and repair them at board level. And so we do a lot of telephone repair for other companies. So this telephone was sent in by one of their customers, and they sent it directly to us. And like I said, that's not uncommon. We get a lot of telephones in from these companies. So anyway, basically what happens is, this is a Radio Shack cordless telephone with a headset. And I have this telephone apart because basically I want to check this telephone out, and I was directed by this company to just go ahead and deal with this telephone directly with the customer, and I'm trying to contact that customer at this point. As you can hear, the telephone's on hook right now, and it's working, and you should get dial tone here. And I'm going to go ahead and dial some numbers. I'm going to end up with a 2. I'm going to hit flash. I'm going to hit redial. Maybe you have to totally hang it up. This is the initial check out of it. There you go. For some reason you can't just hit flash with this phone. You got to actually hang up and then hit redial, and we should end up in a 2, and we did. I'm going to go ahead and hold the handset, and I'm going to talk into the microphone. You're going to see that red indicator light on the analyzer, and that's 100% modulation while talking into the handset, or I'm sorry, into the headset. I'm going to go ahead and hit flash. It's going to give us dial tone back. I have walked around with this telephone, and although it gets a pretty good signal around the shop, it could be a little better. These telephones weren't really intended to have like a long distance. These were more of a office type, home office or small office telephone, and usually when these telephones were used, see, this one has an antenna on it, and it's a long telescoping antenna, and basically these were really intended for the same or another room use, maybe a room away. These weren't like you know, go walk the dog down the block, and some of them would go that far, depending on what frequency you got, but these are in the older frequency ranges and in the lower frequency ranges, and these aren't the 2.4 and the 5.8 and all the fancy ones that they have now. I doubt this is even the 800 megahertz. I'd have to look it over a little better, but it's in the original area of the frequency range for these telephones. And basically they weren't meant to go super long distances. I just have never known them to have that great of a distance. Another issue is these are frequency telephones, or cordless telephones. So you may have this telephone for quite a long time and be able to walk out in the backyard, down the street a little bit, and get a signal. But then somebody else starts using something in that frequency range, which they don't give you much frequency range. And you have to worry about the intermediate frequency range getting involved in it, and other devices. So this may have worked very well for a long time, and then all of a sudden somebody starts using some type of device that is interfering with this telephone. and then you start having problems. So that's why, you know, you're only talking about a room or two, and that's about it. And sometimes the frequencies, stray frequencies from other devices can come in and just totally knock this out, because the FCC didn't let them have very much power, because they didn't want the telephone interfering on any other devices that someone else might have. And but this telephone is working. I have no idea why it's in the shop, but I do need to call the customer. This gives you some kind of idea about this Radio Shack. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. But this telephone is a Super CCT Circuit Radio Shack headset cordless telephone, and the volume control's on the side. I'm going to give you a look inside of it real quick, because there is an area of this telephone that I can solder on a little internal antenna that I can wrap around in here, and it will help out with the reception of this telephone. But this gives you some kind of idea of what this telephone looks like inside, and that gives you a little look. This actually looks like it might have the original battery, but Interstate Battery did sell some aftermarket batteries, so it's probably an aftermarket battery, but I don't know, it just doesn't look like it's a brand spanking new battery, but it could be, I guess. But anyway, it looks like it has some age on it. But this is the telephone, and this telephone is in working condition, and the most that I might do to it is go through it and check the solder on the board real well, and then resolder the main PC board and maybe a little bit of an internal antenna to help this guy out get some reception. But this telephone is in working condition, and I have no clue why it's here. Let it go one more time. And if you're just going to use this telephone within a room or two, I don't see any problem with it, and I will probably install that little coiled antenna inside this unit so that it gets out a little better. But this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can get us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.